This is Nilsson, scientist of muscle, and the exercise I've got for you here is a variation of one that I previously demonstrated to you. This is a split kneeling deadlift lockout. Now, ordinarily and primarily, I would have done this with just the barbell. What I've done here, as you can see, is added some horizontal band resistance. When you add this in, you're not only getting a good stretch resistance at the bottom as you lift the bar off the ground, but the bands stretch and you're getting a massive contraction in the glutes as you come to the top lockout. So it hits the glutes and the lower back extremely hard with that top horizontal band tension. So I've got a pair of medium heavy-ish bands looped around, hitched around the rack uprights and then around the bar here just inside the plates. So same position, leg over the front, and then you're going to kneel and pull back. Now I got 225 on the bar and I'm wearing some lifting hooks, so that grip is not going to be a limiting factor. What I found on this, even though I can very easily hold on to that, is the bar with bands on it has more of a tendency to roll out of your hands. So use the grips, use the grip assistance if you feel you have to. If you don't, use a bit lighter weight and go for higher reps. I don't recommend the over-under grip because that will actually put a little bit of torque on your lower back as you're doing this single leg exercise, essentially is what it is. One leg in front. You want to start by pulling the bar back a little, getting some stretch on the bands. So you're getting stretch right from the start all the way to the top and never letting go of that band tension. Yeah, it's as brutal as it sounds. In case you're wondering, there's really not much pressure on the back knee, so it's not really anything to worry about. Most of the pressure and the loading is on the front foot. So even though my knee's on a bare concrete floor, it's still no problem. Pleasant. Now, what I would recommend with this one very, very highly is do all your reps on one leg, take a rest, at least 1.5 to 2 minutes if you're going heavier, before you switch over and go with the other leg. What's going to happen is if you try and go from one to the next, your reps on the other leg are going to tank. Trust me, I've tried it. If you're using any sort of good resistance and intensity on the first set, you're not going to have very much left for the second one. So take a rest, make sure you're coming in fresh for the other leg, and go nuts. You're also going to find one of the real big benefits of using the bands with this is keeping the lats tight. Practicing keeping the lats tight and pulling the bar into you as you're doing a deadlift. The bands are going to be pulling the bar out. You have to use your lats to pull the bar in and back. So very beneficial, not only from the hip perspective, but from the lats as well. So that is the split kneeling deadlift lockout with horizontal band tension. It's a good one, and like I said, don't go from one leg straight into the other. Take that rest period in between, really dig in with your heels, start the movement from your hamstrings and glutes. Lower back will get engaged automatically. Lats, same thing. Keep those bands tight, keep those lats engaged, and you're really going to get a lot of benefit from this exercise.